Toshemus Wilson was a teacher and athletic coach in Memphis, Tennessee. Known for working with teenagers, he taught at multiple schools and coached basketball. Parents saw him as a mentor. Students saw him as someone they could trust. But beneath that trusted image, a darker truth was waiting to be exposed. In 2023, reports surfaced that Toshemus Wilson had inappropriate contact with underage students. According to local authorities, Wilson allegedly used his position of power to groom and exploit students. Parents and students were shocked. Some said they never suspected anything, while others later claimed they'd seen warning signs but were too afraid to speak up. The truth came out when a student bravely told a trusted adult about what was happening behind closed doors. The investigation revealed text messages, hidden meetings, and repeated instances of misconduct. Wilson was arrested and faced charges including statutory rape by an authority figure, one of the most serious accusations a teacher can face. The news rocked the Memphis community. Parents demanded answers. How could this happen? Why weren't there safeguards to protect their kids? The schools involved promised to review their policies and increase measures to prevent anything like this from happening again. As of now, Toshemus Wilson has been formally charged and faces significant prison time if convicted. The legal process is ongoing, but many families hope this case sends a message. No teacher is above the law. No student should ever be afraid of the person hired to educate them. Craig Michael Wood was a school employee in Springfield, Missouri. He worked as a paraprofessional, athletic coach assistant, and janitor at local schools. To parents and colleagues, he seemed normal, quiet, hard-working, and trusted to be around children every day. On February 18, 2014, 10-year-old Haley Owens was walking home from a friend's house in her neighborhood. It was still daylight, a typical day in a safe community. Suddenly, a pickup truck approached her. Witnesses saw the driver talk to Haley, then pull her into the vehicle and drive away in seconds. Two brave neighbors saw what happened, chased the truck, and wrote down part of the license plate, an act that would become crucial. An immediate Amber Alert was issued, and police quickly traced the license plate to Craig Michael Wood. When officers arrived at his house that same night, they made a tragic discovery that confirmed everyone's worst fears. Haley's life had been taken. Out of respect for Haley and her family, the heartbreaking details are not shared here. The community grieved together, holding vigils and rallies for justice. Craig Michael Wood was arrested that night. He was charged with kidnapping and first-degree murder. His defense argued over details, but the jury found him guilty. In 2018, he was sentenced to death for the murder of Haley Owens. Many said the verdict brought some relief, but nothing could truly ease the pain for Haley's loved ones. Haley's tragic death sparked change. Her family and supporters pushed for Haley's Law, legislation that improved the Amber Alert system in Missouri. Before her case, Amber Alerts in the state sometimes took hours to be issued because of outdated processes. Haley's Law made sure that once an alert is requested by law enforcement, it is sent out faster, giving kidnapped children a better chance to be found alive. William Michael Stankiewicz was a former elementary school teacher who lost his job in the 1990s due to allegations of misconduct involving students. After years of legal trouble, resentment, and isolation, he blamed the school system for ruining his life, a mindset that would lead to a shocking act of violence. On February 2, 2001, Stankiewicz, then 55 years old, entered North Hopewell Winterstown Elementary School in Red Lion, Pennsylvania. Armed with a large kitchen knife, he entered a kindergarten classroom and began attacking students and staff without warning. Brave teachers and staff members immediately put themselves in harm's way to protect the children. During the terrifying attack, kindergarten teacher Karen Zortman and principal Narina Bensel confronted Stankiewicz. Despite being injured themselves, they fought to hold him back and keep him from hurting more children. Their bravery gave students time to escape and likely saved lives that day. 5 children and 2 teachers were injured in the attack, but thankfully, none of the injuries were fatal, largely because of the quick action of staff and emergency responders. Stankiewicz fled the scene but was arrested shortly after. He later confessed to planning the attack as revenge for what he believed was an unfair end to his teaching career. William Michael Stankiewicz was convicted of multiple counts of attempted murder and other charges. He was sentenced to 132 to 264 years in prison, ensuring he would never walk free again. His crime remains a chilling reminder of how personal grudges can turn deadly, even in places meant to nurture and protect children. Kevin Ricks was an English teacher and youth chaperone who taught at schools in North Carolina, Virginia, and even overseas. Parents trusted him with their sons, often letting them travel or stay overnight for academic trips and events. Behind the respectable image was a man leading a double life. Over the years, Ricks used his positions to get close to boys, often befriending families, offering extra tutoring, or inviting students on trips. Parents believed he was helping, but according to investigators, Ricks used these opportunities to isolate and abuse his victims, sometimes taking photos without their knowledge. Many victims were too young and too scared to speak out, and those who did were often ignored by school officials. What makes this case especially shocking is how many times red flags were overlooked. In the 1980s, Ricks was accused of inappropriate behavior in North Carolina, but he kept teaching. In the 1990s, he taught English in Japan, where he was also accused of misconduct. Again, no action stuck. Each time, he moved to a new school, a new state, or even a new country, repeating the same pattern. In 2010, the pattern finally ended. Parents found suspicious photos on Rick's computer. When police investigated, they uncovered journals in which Ricks detailed his abuse in shocking detail, evidence that confirmed what many families had suspected but couldn't prove. He was arrested in Virginia and eventually pleaded guilty to charges related to child exploitation and possession of child pornography. Kevin Ricks was sentenced to 25 years in federal prison. Many of his victims came forward in court to confront him and share how his betrayal had changed their lives forever. His case became a wake-up call about how predators can hide in plain sight, and how institutions can fail to protect children when warning signs are ignored. Gilbert Joseph Trujillo was a resident of Pueblo County, Colorado. Those who knew him said he was a normal man on the outside, but behind closed doors, he had a history of controlling behavior and violent threats. His ex-girlfriend, Deborah Peebles, had tried to distance herself from him, but like so many victims of domestic violence, she discovered that leaving can be the most dangerous time. Deborah and Gilbert's relationship was marked by tension and harassment. Friends said Trujillo wouldn't accept that she had moved on with her life. He reportedly stalked her, showed up uninvited, and threatened her new friends. Despite this, Deborah continued to try to rebuild her life and surround herself with supportive people. On March 13, 2011, Gilbert Joseph Trujillo confronted Deborah Peebles and her friend John Montoya outside a home in Pueblo. Driven by rage and jealousy, Trujillo ambushed them, shooting both at close range before fleeing the scene. Neighbors heard the gunshots and called 911. By the time help arrived, both Deborah and John had tragically lost their lives. After the murders, Trujillo barricaded himself inside his house, triggering a tense standoff with police. SWAT teams surrounded the property, and after hours of negotiation, he surrendered without further violence. He was arrested and charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. At trial, prosecutors described Trujillo's crimes as cold-blooded and premeditated. The evidence showed a pattern of harassment and threats, warning signs that escalated to deadly violence. In the end, the jury convicted Gilbert Joseph Trujillo of both murders. He was sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole, ensuring he would never harm another person again.